On this channel, I typically cover LEGO Star Wars, but today I wanted to take a look at some other LEGO themes that maybe aren't based on a billion-dollar IP with millions of fans. So today we are going to be taking a look at some themes that maybe don't get as much love as they should. These are all themes that maybe didn't get as many sets as they should have, don't get talked about as often as they should, or maybe I just want to see them make a comeback. Regardless, these are all themes that are underrated in some way. So here are the top 10 most underrated LEGO themes. But before we get into the video, I did want to give a quick reminder that the giveaway for $100 worth of your choice of LEGO sets is still going on. All you gotta do to enter is make sure you are subscribed, then go ahead and follow the link in the description and sign in with your YouTube account. That's it, 100% free. If you want more details, make sure to click on the card above. I got a video breaking down the whole thing. Alright, back to the video. Let's start things off with number 10, Alpha Team. This theme started back in 2001 and ended in 2005, so it's pretty old. I promise we'll have some newer ones on the list too though. Anyways, this was kind of the spy theme for its time, and it went through a few different stages or sub-themes, which gave us some really cool underwater based sets as well as Arctic ones. The vehicles and builds were really nice, and this is just really nostalgic for me since I did grow up with it. But it's one that I don't hear talked about too often, and I'd really like to see it make a comeback. And it just might, since it's part of the 30 LEGO themes that have a chance of being a LEGO idea set in 2022. So who knows, maybe we will see it again. Next up, we have LEGO Vikings. This is another original LEGO theme that ran for 2 years from 2005 to 2006, but only had 7 sets. Now, LEGO has made medieval and castle sets for a long time now, but this theme was really different and had a lot of potential. The sets themselves were pretty great, and I especially liked how they included different parts of Viking mythology with the dragons, serpents, and wolves. And just look at some of these sets. I'd buy these if I saw them on store shelves right now. I don't know, maybe it's all the Viking themed video games I've been playing in recent years like God of War, Hellblade, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But I really want LEGO to return to or give us another theme based on Vikings. This theme was great and definitely should have had more sets. On to number 8 with another classic original LEGO theme, Rock Raiders. This theme was around for 2 years, 1999 and 2000. So yes, this one is old as hell, but trust me, the later themes on this list are a lot more recognizable, so just bear with me here. Now, maybe it's just the nostalgia, but I always liked the mining LEGO themes that were mixed with some supernatural stuff like monsters. I especially liked them because of the molds and monsters they'd introduce. The different vehicles and stuff were great as well, but I always really liked the molds for these monsters. The theme did pretty much make a comeback with a different name in 2009 with Power Miners, which was also a great theme and had great molds for their rock monsters as well. One of the most unique variations of minifigures LEGO has ever made. Okay, at number 7 we have LEGO Sports, which ran from 2000 to around 2007. Now this obviously won't appeal to a lot of people, but I've always been a huge sports guy. I'm pretty generic though, I only really watch American sports like the NFL, NBA, and even a little bit of MLB. So this entire theme wasn't that amazing to me, but there was one line of sets that was part of this theme that I always thought was really great. The official NBA minifigures. These sets would include 3 NBA stars as well as a collectible card and stand. I didn't really care much for these springy legs that actually allow you to shoot a ball. But just being a fan of the sport and also being a LEGO collector, I found these to be pretty cool. They don't really get a whole lot of love in the LEGO world. I mean, this was before LEGO really figured out how to properly portray real people in minifigure form, so all the face prints do look really goofy. But I still like them, and I'd love to see LEGO do something like this for NFL players as well. Obviously this theme didn't do as well as LEGO hoped, which is why it was canned. But who knows, LEGO has delved back into the sports world a little bit recently, maybe they'll do it again. On to number 6 with the Prince of Persia. This theme launched alongside the movie in 2010 and only had one wave of 6 sets. Now, I've always been a fan of the video games, and I like the movie as well, so I might be a little biased. But I really like the builds and aesthetic of this line of sets. Dastan is a super cool looking minifigure, and everything else looks very unique. These are the type of sets we don't see in LEGO too often. Now, I know a lot of people dislike the movie, but I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I really thought the movie was pretty underrated, so this theme is also a little underrated in my eyes. Who knows, maybe they'll reboot this game series at some point. I'd really like to see it. Okay, we are now halfway through our list, so at number 5, we have SpongeBob Squarepants. This theme ran for 6 years from 2006 to 2012, but only produced 14 sets. That feels a little strange, right? I feel like we got a lot more SpongeBob sets in the past, but apparently it was just 14. Now, please don't unsubscribe, but I am not really the biggest SpongeBob fan. I know that's a pretty unpopular opinion, but I just didn't really grow up watching this show, so it doesn't hold the same nostalgia for me, although the memes are top tier. With that said, I still think these sets were really iconic, and there's just so much content to base sets off of. The minifigures were also really cool. This theme does get a lot of love from LEGO fans, but it isn't talked about all that often, so still underrated. Alright, at number 4 we got the Lone Ranger, which came out in 2013 and had 8 sets. Now, first of all, I just need to say the Lone Ranger is a terribly underrated movie. Yup, I know that's a hot take and most people would disagree with me, but I always thought it was a really fun movie. It feels like a Western Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which is pretty much what they were going for, and I thought it was great. It's too bad it made no money though, so it couldn't really justify a sequel. But regardless of the movie, these sets were also quite underrated. LEGO doesn't make enough Western sets in general, so this is really the most recent Western sets we've received. And all these sets are quite good, especially the Constitution train chase, which includes an entire train track and train as well. These sets were awesome, and so was the movie. The Lone Ranger really just doesn't get as much love as it deserves. I know this is a hot take, but I'm standing by it. Okay, we are at our top 3 themes now. So at number 3 we have Exoforce, that ran from 2006 to 2008 with a total of 44 sets. Now, LEGO makes a lot of mechs in its diverse library of themes, but not many have really lived up to the quality that Exoforce put out. Ninjago has made some really great mechs before, but Exoforce was just different aesthetically and worked a lot better in my opinion. These sets and mechs throughout this theme were just fantastic because the whole series was just about mechs. This was like LEGO's take on a Gundam theme. It also had a lot of Japanese influence throughout, which was a nice homage. Every set had one unique focus. It wasn't the minifigures or the environments, but the mechs themselves, which is what made the mechs in Exoforce look great. This theme hasn't really ever been rebooted or redone in any other way though, which I think is a missed opportunity. I don't know, I've always just really liked this theme and I don't hear enough about it, so I'm putting it on this list. Alright, at number 2 we have the Legends of Chima. This was a massive theme that ran from 2013 to 2015, but produced a total of 142 sets. Now, this is a theme that LEGO put a lot of their attention into. It really felt to me like this theme was going to be the next Bionicle or Ninjago. You know, one of those themes that last like a decade and have fans of all different ages. But it only lasted 3 years, which was a real shame. In that time, they introduced so many different molds and pieces though, and in my eyes, it's one of the most memorable LEGO themes in recent years. They did kind of go all out with the quality of their sets though. Chima really was pushing LEGO forward during its time. But I don't know what it is, it just feels like this theme has been forgotten. I mean, it is 6 years old now, but there are a lot of themes that ended a while ago that are still talked about quite a bit. I don't know, maybe I'm just browsing around in the wrong parts of the LEGO community. But I really liked Legends of Chima, and in my eyes, it's even up there with Ninjago. So definitely underrated in my opinion. Okay, before we get to our number 1 spot, let's take a look at some honorable mentions that were close but didn't make the list. Starting with Dino Attack. This theme introduced some great dinosaur molds as well as some modern military styled vehicles, but is ultimately overshadowed by the far more impressive Jurassic World sets. Next we got Pirates of the Caribbean. This theme was great, but sometimes I forget LEGO even had this license. And that may be because we didn't really get enough sets from their latest movie. But this theme has introduced some of the best ships LEGO has ever made, and I hope they revisit a pirate theme again soon. And the last of our honorable mentions, LEGO Adventurers. This was pretty much LEGO's take on Indiana Jones before they had the license. But now that they do, and with Lucasfilms planning to make another movie, I'm sure we'll see more LEGO sets with this same style soon. Well, that pretty much does it for our honorable mentions. So the number one most underrated LEGO theme is Avatar: The Last Airbender. And how on earth could this not be? I'm sure most of you know this show, but maybe you didn't know LEGO actually made sets based on it. Back in 2006, LEGO made 2 sets that were released alongside the show, and both of these sets were awesome. Now, I gotta be completely honest, I'm a huge fan of this show. There aren't many cartoons that even come close to it for me, other than the Clone Wars, of course. So yes, I am very, very biased. But with that said, I still think these are some of the most desirable minifigures LEGO has ever made. Just look at the price of one of these sets, the Air Temple. This set originally cost $30, but now it's about $360. These sets themselves aren't even that great, but it's mainly about the minifigures that are just so awesome they make these sets extremely desirable. Because LEGO only made 2 sets for this theme, it isn't talked about all that much. But even with those 2 sets, this is still the most underrated theme LEGO has made, and we need way more of it. I'd do almost anything to get one of these. Now, this show has almost grown a cult following. It didn't even have that many seasons, but it has so many fans. The popularity of the show has definitely grown over the years, and with the inclusion of The Legend of Korra, which is also a great show by the way, LEGO would have so much material to base sets off of. Netflix is also bringing this back into live action, so hopefully that doesn't suck, and we can see this LEGO theme revived. But who knows, it's all in LEGO's hands. Hopefully they'll find a way to acquire this theme again. But there it is, guys. Those are the top 10 most underrated LEGO themes. Before you head out, make sure to let me know which themes you guys find underrated and would want to see make a comeback. Also, if you haven't had a chance to enter the giveaway, make sure to do so. But that will pretty much do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.